So, we're starting with the first Maria scene again, and because I I didn't rush through the music talk on it last time, but there were a few other things that I wanted to point out this time around, and I also wanted to talk more specifically about uh, Salome Gunnarsdottir's performance. Uh, she's the actress who plays Maria, and there, of all the performances in the remake, I think hers has possibly gotten the most criticism just because, at least to me, it is mostly because her performance is very different from the original. I mean, Luke Roberts' performance is very different from James in the original, but I think most people are willing to admit that Guy See's performance isn't the most. Uh, don't even want to say not the most nuanced, but it is a different sort of performance. And I think Luke Robert brings a lot of humanity and groundedness to the role, as do most of the performances in the remake, just because they have a talent pool to draw from that they didn't really have in 2001, or they did, but they didn't have access to. But yeah, Maria in particular, a lot of people say like, oh well, I like all the new performances except for Maria. Like doesn't. She feels a little flat in certain ways. There were certain things about her performance in the original that like give you goosebumps and didn't quite have the same effect this time around. And I will admit there are certain scenes that the first time playing through, I was like, huh, I don't dislike this performance, but it's definitely a different take on the character. Cleo, sometimes people are wrong. Yeah, sometimes people are wrong. Um, but when I thought about like the big difference between the newer performances and the older performances, and how a lot of the newer performances are taking a more grounded approach to these characters, a more contemporary like cinematic approach, or less of the like David Lynchiness of the original, for better or for worse. And I started looking at her performance through that lens. I was like, oh, wait a second. She's doing a lot of really subtle stuff here. Like, in the same way that Luke Roberts, a lot of people, when they first saw him, they were like, oh, his performance is really flat. He doesn't show any emotion. It's like, no, there's so much nuance to his performance. There's so, like, the animation in the game has all these micro expressions, and there's so much underneath his voice when he's talking, when he's delivering lines, and when I again took that approach with like, oh well, I like Luke Roberts' performance for all these reasons. Are there similar things about Salome Gunnarsdottir's performance, at least in terms of the sense of the style of acting that they're doing? And I think there is a lot of subtlety to what she's doing. Whereas the original Maria, I think, and I love the original Maria's performance. I think she comes off a lot more uh, hostile right off the bat, and not hostile in the sense that like she's yelling at you and stuff right away, but she feels a bit more sinister in certain ways, and I think that works for that performance. Like there is something about that original performance that does have this like feeling like the whole time it's almost like she's taunting James and his whole experience. Um, Whereas Salome's performance, I think she is much more. Cleo and I have talked a lot about this. There's something about the way that they wrote and directed and performed Maria in the remake where it's almost like she has more personhood than she did in the original. I'll talk a little bit more about this later when we get to the Baldwin Mansion, because I just rewatched the Born from a Wish scenario, and there's a lot to talk about there too. But there is something about Maria in the remake where it really feels like, oh, she's almost more aware, or she's as aware of what's going on as the original Maria was, but she is taking a much different tact and strategy of like, okay, James is this person that I was made for, and I need to ensure that he he gives in to the temptation, that he falls for me, or he that he wants me. And I think some of the differences are just differences in the time that the games came out, like 2001 and 2024, very different environments. But also that sort of sense of personhood where it's like you can like there are moments that I'm gonna talk about in each of the scenes coming up where it's like Maria herself is aware of what's going on, and she's like, and she you can see her change tack and stuff that seemed enigmatic or just potentially like obtuse or confusing before. It's like, oh, now we can kind of track everything that's going on in Maria's mind in the remake performance. And that's not, again, that's not to criticize the original performance. Like a lot of people have been trying to say on the Silent Hill Reddit, and to it's fallen on deaf ears. It's like, oh, here's a really good cake. Here's a really good cake too. Good in different ways. Awesome, two cakes. Um, but yeah, I have really fallen in love with Salome Gunnarsdottir's performance, and I really wanted to highlight that because I feel like a lot of people have kind of uh, overlooked the what she's actually really doing with her performance. Um, the other thing that I wanted to bring up about the scene we're about to see is when it came to the music. I talked a lot about how like last time about how we have this sequenced piano line which almost feels like, oh, it's kind of like detaching us from humanity in the way that Maria is not real. Um, and the vibes are just so different than any of the music that we've heard up until this point. We've got the drum and bass groove. This piece is also in Dorian mode, uh, which I'm bringing. Like I think I brought up Dorian mode last time when talking about Promise Reprise. If natural minor is, and I talked about with how Promise Reprise, you've got this chord in there, which is like it really defines a natural minor scale. Dorian mode raises that scale degree, the sixth scale degree. If we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, then that scale degree is raised or natural. I'll try not to get too bogged down in terminology, but Dorian mode, if natural minor is, Dorian mode is, and it's just that slight difference that can convey such a difference in tone and vibe. And in both this piece and the Heaven's Night piece, I think Akira Yamaoka uses it to obscure certain things about the melody and harmonic things that he's doing in the music. And there is the thing that I wanted to point out before we got into the scene is there is what I believe to be a musical reference to a piece of music we've already heard. This is something I didn't talk about last time. And it is kind of obscured and hidden because we are in Dorian mode and where Akira Yamaoka places it in like the register of the keyboard. And I will challenge you to figure out what exactly I'm talking about. I might be going out on a limb here, or it may be intentional. I like to think it's intentional, but who knows? Everything's up to different interpretations. Um, but yeah. Without further ado, let's meet Maria and see if you can hear that thing that I was talking about. So, let's get back to the game screen. And grab my controller.
Mary? Do I look like your girlfriend?
No, my... Wait, wife. I can't believe it. Your face, your voice, you could be...
My name is Maria. I don't look like a ghost, do I? See? Warm.
Sorry, I got confused.
Hey. Where are you going?
I need to find Mary.
Didn't you say she died?
Oh. Yeah. 3 years ago. It's just... I got a letter from her.
A letter?
I know how it sounds. I'm not... I don't...
Hey. It's okay. So, what did the letter say?
She said she was waiting for me. In our special place.
And that's here? Anyway, I haven't seen her. Is this your only special place?
I don't know anymore. There was something. I can't quite...
Hey! I think I might know. I mean, there's this one place. Not far from here.
What kind of place?
The kind two lovers might call special. I can show you if you want. Unless you have somewhere else to be. Something else to do. Hey, easy there. I'm just messing with you. Come on. It's this way.
You're coming with me? Can't you just tell me where it is?
Wait. You're just gonna leave me here? Alone? With all these monsters around?
No, I just...
Is it because I remind you of her? You loved her, didn't you? Didn't you?
All right, just... Come on.
So it's okay.
Yeah.
It's so freaking good. Okay, I'm gonna pause it real quick or else she's gonna yell at us. Get over it. So yeah. A few things I want to point out about the performance. The line delivery, like the two lines that jump out at me immediately watching that scene again are, didn't you say she died? Like in the original, I'm pretty sure the way that the original voice actress delivered that line, it's more of like, didn't you say she died? Like, are you crazy kind of tone. And this time around, it's so much more innocent sounding. It's that like, but didn't you say she died? Like she's it is very much. I think Cleo, you might have brought this up in one of our emails. It's very much like a honey versus vinegar type thing, whereas I think the original Maria, in certain ways, she has a little bit more vinegar to her as a way to almost like egg James on. And yeah, like Cleo, you just brought up the "you loved her, didn't you" line. Yeah, that I don't remember that line specifically in the original, but I was gonna bring up the way that she says, "Didn't you?" It's like that little bit of like knowing, like it just you get a little bit of that sense that, oh, Maria knows way more than she is letting on in this scene, just by the way that she repeats that, "Didn't you?" Which I think I would imagine that the original performance was more, that was like, "You loved her, didn't you?" That feels more in line with the original Maria. But yeah, there's just so much I love about that performance, and like I know that there's going to be a bunch of stuff that Cleo talks about in her breakdown in her write up. She said in the chat, "I practically have a beat by beat breakdown of the scene in screen caps, and haters can fight me in the parking lot." um, and yeah, and I'll fight them with you. uh, but yeah, it's from Lag Time Podcast. Hey, Andy. It's interesting how she is slightly disarming, but gets a little too familiar and just rocks between them. Yeah, yeah. Like that disarming is such a good word for it, because I think the original Maria is much more like, "Hey, I'm kind of off, but I'm also interesting. Also, you were just gonna leave me? No, take me with you." Like, it's almost like she has more control. It's clear that she has more control of the situation than James does, whereas the remake Maria is much more disarming. It's like, "Okay, yeah, I look like your wife, but that's fine. That's not a big deal. Here, I'm just gonna touch your chest. Oh, you don't like that? Okay, I was just messing with you. No, it's fine." Um, at some point, Maria's like, "Did you hate her?" Oh, in the original, she might have said that at some point in the original. Yeah, again, the dialogue in the remake is so much more subtle, I think. Um, but yeah, there's just so much I love about the performance of Maria in the remake. So, really quick, uh, the let me go over to my music setup just a moment. Um, ah, forget about it. It's fine. Control is fine. So we're in C minor, or C Dorian, as I was saying before. And the way you can tell it is that it's C Dorian is at a few points you hear like you hear that note in like the cello or the vocals in the background. Um, but on that note, the little musical reference I was talking about before. So we've got this C Dorian feel underneath, and we hear the cello come in and play this line that's like. And it didn't hit me until this time around uh, that we have heard that melody before, and this is in the original soundtrack as well. Sorry, how do I always have trouble figuring out how to get this to. Whatever. It's not a big deal. Anyone can see that spam. What was I going to say? Yeah, so that melody we hear on the cello. In this context, it's this weird kind of like Dorian mode melody. But if we were to put it in G minor, and then if we were to change the rhythm of it a little bit, it's like one note off, but I think that's the Magdalene theme. It doesn't play that one note in between the Dorian mode note, ironically, but it's almost like it's trying to evoke Mary but in the context of this new piece where it's like, oh, this is supposed to be Mary, but it's not. Like, we've been playing this whole game and we're looking for our wife, and this is where she's supposed to be. This is supposed to be her, right? No, she says she's Maria. She looks like her, though, but her hair is different and her clothes are different, and her melody is here, but it's different. It's in a different context, and it doesn't sound like it should. I love the soundtrack to this game so much, and I am so blown away that I'm still discovering stuff like this 20 years later. Part of it is just experience. Part of it is like I'm actually sitting down and figuring out the music now, and it's like I love Akira Yamaoka and his music, and yeah, we've got in the Dorian mode. It sounds different in little ways, but it is so close to it that I gotta think it's on purpose. But I may just be blowing steam. Who knows? I always feel like I need to qualify with that. But what that hit me after I ended the stream last time. I was like, wait a second. We've been talking about this theme the whole time, and it was there in plain sight. It was in a melody instrument. This cello comes in, and you can't ignore it. You hear those notes. And then the extended version for the remake, the vocals also sing that melody. And yeah, I'm just like, this game is so cool, and the music is awesome, and everyone should love this game. Alright, let's get back to the game itself so that we can get to other cool musical things. And yeah, let me bring up my notes. Okay. So yeah, was there anything else I want to talk about with this theme? Nah. Yeah, sequence piano, Dorian mode, yeah. Yeah, so then it's already associated with Maria when, yes. And to be fair, we hear that little, like,
Come on, let's go.
that kind of thing in a few places, which some of them I was already aware of, like in Theme of Laura and True, but that one right there I hadn't picked up on until literally 2 weeks ago after I finished up the stream. You're going that way, Maria, but I wanted to see if you come back over this way and have anything to say about these guys. Oh, something else I noticed as I was getting up to this point was all of the men, all the male statues in Rosewater Park, their heads are missing. Like, there's the dude on the horseback back there, and then there's these two men, and yeah. 6.5. What do you mean, Andy? Anything to say here? No. Okay. All right. So this gate we tried before, and it was locked.
Strange. I could have sworn.
I love that little detail.
Is something wrong?
I know. It's nothing.
I think if you don't try the gate before meeting Maria, he won't say that, but since I did, he has that little line of dialogue. Okay, so let's walk around, see what stuff we can find. There's a few things I wanted to talk about here. Is there anything in here? No.
Want to take a breather?
What? No, I just... Sorry, I'm just a bit preoccupied.
It's fine. You know, if there's anything you want to talk about, anything at all.
No. Let's just keep moving.
Oh, the 6.5 was courtesy of Monty and Maisie, the dogs. They wanted to chat something, apparently. But yeah, me love she. It's like, is something wrong? No, it's just something thematically relevant. Again, it's been happening increasingly today. What do we got here? Okay, so this is what I would presume to be a woman whose head is also missing. So there is something about statues missing heads in Rosewater Park, and I don't know what. My brain isn't smart enough at the moment to figure it out. Oh, hey, Erica, welcome. So Cleo, you had posted about this on Tumblr before, and the the liar, and how we've already made a bunch of connections to the Orpheus and Eurydice story in Silent Hill 2, and how this is another one. The thing that I wanted to comment on, because it hadn't hit me until this point, is the sense of perspective that you get from this gate, looking at it at this particular angle. Because it looks like a hallway leading to a smaller gate that's further away. Like you've got the grate on the floor, you've got the walls kind of converging. It's such a cool optical illusion, and again, until I saw your post today, Cleo, I hadn't noticed that about these gates. And it's so freaking cool. Like the details in this game, I will never be over it. You can almost think of it as like a pathway to the underworld or something. Wait for me. Yes, join me in the bathroom, Maria.
This place we're going to, what is it exactly?
It used to be kind of a special place for young couples in these parts.
She
I
keeps.
think it's easier if I just show you.
You keep using that phrase. I do not think it means what you think it means. She keeps using the phrase that James used, special place. It's almost like the whole thing of like, oh, to get people more on your side, you keep using their name. I was thinking back to that my brother and me riff. Jeffrey, do you like the band, Jeffrey? How did they make it more liminal somehow? Yeah, I mean, I don't know, Cleo, like years of liminal stuff becoming a thing on the internet. Who knows? We've got chessboards. Not going up those stairs yet because there's other stuff to explore. Particularly a statue over here that I know Maria comments on.
Who is that?
Just a woman. Killed for no real fault of her own by moral, upstanding folk. Common theme, I guess.
What do you mean?
In history, you know?
Victim of persecution. Yeah, you can read more of this without the text in front. Victim of persecution by the Christians, Jennifer Carroll lived with pride and honor. What happened here shall never be forgotten. So Jennifer Carroll is a character that's referenced a few times in various Silent Hill stuff. I feel like I've looked up her story, but she's not like a character that you meet in the game, so I don't remember all of it as well. But yeah, she essentially was like, I believe, burned at the stake for being a witch, and they actually used that imagery in the movie, the 2006 Silent Hill movie, and have this big mural or painting on one of the walls that features Jennifer Carroll. So yeah, recurring theme of persecuted women. And we can all imagine how that might connect to James's story. Again, there's that joke online, or that joke I've seen about how, like, if there's a newscast in a movie, it's always going to be relevant to the main character, and people will be like, oh, that's not realistic, and it's like, okay, number one, like, plot economy and detail economy, like, just give it to the filmmaker. But also, again, another reason I love Silent Hill and the way it functions. It's like, well, everything you see is a manifestation of the main character's mind, so that justifies it, okay? There. Of course, people take it too far sometimes, but...
There. We can go through in no time.
Yeah, but we're not going to do that yet, because there's other stuff to explore. Sorry, Maria. I'm doing a commentary.
Hey! Wrong way. We already passed the motel.
Yeah, I know. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. There we go. Jeez. So how's everyone's nights going? Neighborhood cafe, rich fragrance, espresso fascinates you? Come to the cafe and taste the heaven. Oh my gosh. Bloober team. T's Italian restaurant.
James, your wife, what was she like? Or is... Sorry, I'm not...
That's fine.
Like, she's trying to understand. She's trying to
Why
be
not?
understanding.
Just curious.
I'm not sure I want to talk about it.
Oh, come on. You said we look alike? At least give me something.
Well, she liked to play the piano. I'm not sure if you're really that much alike.
Oh? I don't strike you as the pianist type?
Let's just leave it.
Sure, James.
I don't think I got that dialogue on my other playthroughs. Silent Hill Historical Society, Earth Day at Toluca Lake, The Story of Yesterday. Yeah, they added these little bits of conversation with Maria for the remake that flesh out the characters a little bit more. Again, they make them all, not just Maria, more human, but like probably most significantly for Maria. Okay. Yeah, the billboards are something. Got a school bus. We'll be,
You know we're heading the wrong way, right?
yes, Maria, I know.
Yeah, just bear with me, okay?
There's the Lakeside
Whatever
Amusement
you
Park
say,
one.
big man.
Come on, a funny, shinny night party. Less than 3 miles away. If we just keep running this way, we can make it to the amusement park, Maria. Maybe we'll meet Heather in some weird time confluence. Oh, you're going to ask about schools in Silent Hill 1. So, I think you only go to one school in Silent Hill, the original Silent Hill. It's Midwich Elementary, which is also featured in the movie. It being,
James?
yeah. It's just a creeper, Maria. Don't worry about it. Yeah, Midwich Elementary is the school that Alessa Gillespie went to when she was a child, and where she was bullied because people thought she was a witch. Aha. As you can see, I switched back to the wooden plank from the chainsaw for aesthetic reasons. I don't like the wailing of the chainsaw as we're going through, as Amat pointed out, this beautiful atmospheric fog. Creeper, where are you? There you are. Also, I just remembered that I'm doing the no radio run again. Okay. Boat launch. Hey, there's a little boat there. Let's go there, Maria. What?
You startled me.
Oh. I've been doing this for a little bit. You don't think the fog is coming?
Hey, I'm all for taking the scenic route.
I
but
know.
We're not getting any closer to where we want to be.
Locked.
Yeah, has been for a while.
You know what's in there?
Not sure. I'm not even sure when was the last time anyone's been inside.
Kind of cut through that last bit of dialogue about us being way off track, but I think we get the picture. Now, there's a reference to something goofy in the original up here, I believe. Baby and Kids Superstore. Discount prices. Baby gift registry. Parking in rear entrance. Silent Hill. Fresh meats. Oh man, that font. Oh, James, come on.
Oh, God. Did the monsters get him?
Oh, you're talking about that
Maybe.
poor sap over there.
Doesn't make much difference now.
Yeah.
And we have another chasm. Perfectly normal. So, if I remember correctly, we take this note and then we're going to hear a couple of sounds of like something flying through the air and hitting the ground. Well, I mean, that is one way to put it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's on this road in the original Silent Hill 2. You're just walking along and two mannequins just jump out of the corn at you. So they didn't have exactly that, because that is kind of a goofy moment, but you do hear them, I think, after getting this note. Okay. I can leave by not leaving. I can only leave by not leaving. The deal is done. He said he left it for me, where they once were. 1887. So, this code is for a safe that has an item that we need for the bliss ending. And so, reading it in that context, I can only leave by not leaving. There's so many different ways I could interpret this. Like, this could potentially be, if we're going with the idea that this is another iteration of James who has gone through this. He can only leave by not leaving. He realizes now he can't leave Silent Hill, so he's got to figure out some way to leave by not leaving. In the bliss ending, you take some drugs and you get a different ending than you would have otherwise. The deal is done. He said he left it for me, the drugs, where they once were. Where they once were might refer to, like, technically the drugs you find them at Brookhaven, so it could be where they once were in that sense, but I think this is meant to reference where they once were, as in where Laura and Eddie met in the original, which is Pete's Bolorama. Yep. There's the sound of those two bodies. And I think we'll have some mannequins up here. Yep. Let me just double check I didn't miss anything over here. I love the way that they, like, did all this stuff with the chasms where it's like stuff is falling into them but not falling all the way. Like, it comes out really really well in the Otherworld section later after the hospital. Like, or we got a little bit of that in East South Vale with some of the houses looking like they were like leaning down into the pit. Okay, 7:42. All right, if we want to get to Heaven's Night, at the very least, we definitely got to get moving. Again, I'm thinking it may be more realistic to try to get to Moonlight Grove rather than all the way to Brookhaven tonight. And then we can talk about all three of the big musical pieces for Maria. Wait, where's the the carjack. Is that... Or not the carjack, but... Oh, that's Octantis, I think. So yeah. We're cool going here first.
I could really use a warning this time.
Well, if I had, like, a dialogue button that I could hit, I would do it, Maria, but unfortunately I don't, so you're just gonna have to get used to the blatant destruction of private property that I'm doing. And here we are at Pete's Bolorama, famous place for both...
You know, you can wait outside if you want. I'll just look around the place.
Why would I want to wait outside?
Yeah.
I thought you might not want to.
James, if you don't want me around anymore, you can just say it.
No, it's not that. Just a stray thought.
There it is. The rusted key. So you can only get this on a New Game Plus. I did not acquire it, nor will I be able to do so. However, I can direct you to where it is. You will find it in a place of care, the hospital. An island of respite in a sea of suffering. I warned you before. This is a commitment. I hope you can see this now. So, Zeus, I think you missed my whole spiel at the beginning where I talked about how, yeah, Maria's voice acting is, it's different than a lot of the other performers, and I think there are a lot of people level criticisms at it because of the actress in the original game and her performance, which I do like that performance. The thing about Maria's performance that I talked about before, and I'll try to just give a quick recap on, is Maria is not a real person. Which, again, spoiler stream, we're getting into it. She is a manifestation of James's psyche, and a lot of what she does is manipulation. In the original game, it's a lot more blatant. In the remake, it is in certain ways a lot more subtle, but I think the way that Salome Gunnarsdottir performs it is you have that hint of offness there where it's like, oh, this line delivered by just a person who is saying these things genuinely would feel warmer or more comforting or more genuine. But for Maria, she is in certain ways putting on a performance, similar to the way that Hannibal in Silence of the Lambs is putting on a performance. But it is a lot. It's interesting to think about. But yeah, it took me a bit getting used to her line delivery because, one, it was so different from the original. But ultimately, I really, really fell in love with her performance. This is a weird note that everyone seems to be confused by. Hey, what's up with the rack on lane 3? There's some cloth clogging the hood, and I can't pull it out. What is that crap? The balls are getting stuck by the end of the lane, so I guess it goes all the way through the underlane. I tried to push it with a pin, but I can't. I can't push the pin in there. I tried both sides. It's blocked. I can't. So I have searched this area. I have searched lane 3 now in the daytime, and I've searched it later when we come back at night, and I have not found if there's anything directly there that it's supposed to be saying about it. Like, first of all, I'm not sure which one's supposed to be lane 3. I guess if we're counting from the left, it would be this one. But yeah, it doesn't seem to be anything there. Doesn't seem to be anything here if we're counting from the other direction. Yeah, I don't know what that note is supposed to be all about, or if it's just supposed to be another creepy note, but the fact that it specifically references Lane 3 is so weird, and like, I've looked up a few times whether anyone on the Reddit has figured it out, and it doesn't seem like anyone has.
Nothing safe with you around, huh?
That is a loaded line, Maria. You know exactly who you're talking to. They mean lane 6, third ball return. Oh. So what is that, and what do we do with it? Got a 15. You need an air horn? Is this just another, like, weird clothing stuffed somewhere, like, in the laundry, back in East South Vale? Will it be different later? Okay. Interesting. What does the line say again? Again, don't want to linger too long here. Goes all the way through the underlane. It's blocked. Interesting. I saved already, right? I think I did. Yeah, it does look like it's the color of Maria's jacket. Okay, so we checked out all this stuff, but we didn't check this glimpse of the past over here. Ooh, like she's been disposed of. That's creepy. This is referencing a beautiful line from the original Silent Hill 2.
Ugh. This town's full of monsters. Who could just sit here and eat pizza?
Iconic. But also kind of goofy. So, and they also moved the scene that took place here to a movie theater. So, although like it's like, oh, they moved to a movie theater. They couldn't have Eddie eating pizza if they're at a movie theater. So instead, they have him eating this gigantic tub of ice cream that we'll see later, and it's like, huh? Where'd you get that, Eddie? Okay.
Again?
Yes, Maria. We gotta get loot. I don't want to have to use the chainsaw and everything. It disrupts the atmosphere. I've been over this. Okay. Trying to do my perimeter search like I usually do. Got more. Oh, here's another glimpse of the past. This is a reference to the original.
What is it?
Nothing. Just deja vu.
The original Heaven's Night entrance. Ah, come on, controller. Okay. Yeah. They moved Heaven's Night when they expanded the town, so it's no longer here. It's elsewhere. There was a Heaven's Night. There was a strip club here. It's gone now.
Locked. No way through.
I told you there's nothing for us here. Let's head back.
Okay, but not until I've gotten the jack that will let us get more
think they're
goodies.
For now. Again.
There we go. And there's creatures. Ah, crap. Hold on. Hold on, Maria. Just hold on a second. I got things to take care of. Okay. Don't you spray vomit on my not wife. I heard another creeper. Or creature. Oh, hey there. Yeah, Maria, stop wandering around between James and the monsters. Right, Amat. Yeah, Maria, do you want to get vomited on? Is that what the deal is here? I mean, I figured you were into some kinky stuff, but this is getting ridiculous.
You think you just saved my life back there?
Glad I did.
Yeah. So am I.
You haven't really played a Silent Hill 2 until you've yelled, Maria, get out of the way! Exactly. Oh, I thought there was... Okay. Okay. Hello... Daddy! Ah, come on. What was that about? Creeper! So I talked briefly about the school before. Was there anything else you were wondering about, Cleo, in regards to the school? Oh, hey there. Hold on, my frame rate is being weird. But yeah, as far as I know, there's really just the one school referenced in the games. Although I think in Shattered Memories, it's Midwich High or something like that. Or maybe the high school that you go into there is different from Midwich Elementary. Yeah, Midwich is one of the most famous, like, I feel like it's one of the cooler Otherworlds in the original. And it's got a really cool kind of non-Euclidean geometry gag where you go in through a bathroom on the second floor and you come out on the first floor, and you only know that once you've left the bathroom. It's pretty cool. Midwich is also the map that they adapted for the Dead by Daylight Silent Hill DLC. And they actually have a reference to that gag by the fact that, like, that part of the map, like, there's a chasm in the ground that, and the second floor bathroom that you can fall through to get to the first floor. Really hope I'm not missing anything important. I think I'm doing it pretty good. Oh, you. And the frame rate. Oh, jeez. Jeez. Come on. Not while I'm trapped in the corner. Ah, come on. Come on. If I die here, that's going to be so frustrating. Okay. Because I didn't even save at the motel. That would have been bad. Okay, we're good. Basically, why did you confirm that was a setting? Because I had Midwich Elementary. Yep. Okay.
I'm actually getting used to you smashing stuff up.
Yay, finally. Oh, that is a, hopefully a syringe? Yeah. Okay. And we have a calendar that says November 1983. So, this couldn't have taken place earlier than November 1983. Or could it? Who knows? Workout. Vehicle repair shop. Maria, are you stuck back there? Please don't say you're stuck back here. Come on. Is this openable? No. Let's go. I need you to torment me just by being here because you almost look like my wife.
The walls are so thin you can hear everything. Love, hate.
Is she still stuck over there? Oh no. Did I run into a glitch? Uh-oh. This may be a problem. Oh, man. Oh, jeez. Okay. Let's see if saving it will bring her back. Oh, there she is. There she is.
Is everything all right?
Yes, let's overwrite this save.
Hey, you okay? It's like you froze for a second.
Yeah, it's fine.
This is a neat new piece of music for the remake.
Locked. Strange.
Oh, I still...
Why is that strange?
Never mind. Let's find a way to get it open.
So yeah, that's an interesting bit of dialogue. Is it because Maria came through here to get to Rosewater, or... Also, I need to use that jack on the garage over here. Yeah, so there are a few things in this section that reference scenario that came with the special edition of the original Silent Hill 2 scenario called Born from a Wish, where you actually play as Maria just before she meets James in Rosewater Park. And there are hopes that they make it as a DLC for the Silent Hill 2 remake, but nothing's been announced yet. I rewatched the Born from a Wish scenario just before stream tonight because it only takes like a half hour to get through if you're just blazing through it. And I'll talk a little bit more about it when we get past the motel. Because there's a place past the motel that we will... that is part of the Born from a Wish scenario that we'll see. And we've got the jack here.
You sure that's a good idea?
Yep. How else am I going to see James's butt?
Just give me a minute.
Hey! You okay in there? Can you let me in?
Okay.
So, anything good in here?
As good as it gets.
The main news. Mass layoffs at the Brookhaven Hospital threaten the institution's future. I also like this game. It was just like, yeah, let's just say Silent Hill is in Maine. Let's not beat around the bush anymore. We know it's in Maine. It was a reference to Stephen King. Mass layoffs at Brookhaven Hospital threaten the institution's future. The layoffs we reported on last month are continuing. Over 10 people have been let go, which has reduced the... controller. Which has reduced the hospital's staff by more than half. If the situation does not improve, staff shortages will put patients at risk. Brookhaven is a hospital with a long history. It was established in 1810 when a deadly epidemic swept through the Silent Hill area. That's going to be a recurring theme, an epidemic. Ever since, it has incessantly brought help to the residents of the town. Incessantly is a weird word to use there. It's kind of... I feel like incessantly has a little bit of a negative connotation, which is interesting. However, more and more have made their voices heard of how the presence of a psychiatric hospital in the middle of the town has a negative impact on the local community. Residents fear that an incident from 2 years ago might repeat itself. An incident from 2 years ago? What could that be about? When did this newspaper release? Because I almost wonder if that's meant to be a reference to... So, let me think about... Well, no, because that wasn't Brookhaven. I was almost going to say it was a reference to Travis Grady's mother from Silent Hill Origins, but that is actually a different asylum entirely, because Silent Hill is the sort of town that needs 2 asylums. That is Cedar Grove Sanitarium. Made it! We got a space heater. I guess that's the made it. Or at least that's what it looks like to me. It looks like it's in front of a door, though. I don't know. Maybe it's something else. Anything down here? No. Ah. Okay. I gotta admit, Cleo, every time I open up a drawer or a cabinet and there's nothing in there, I just hear your voice in my head going, disappointment. Anything else in here? I think we're good. Look at the poster on the wall. Which wall? Which wall? Oh. Is it this poster? I feel like you were talking about a different poster, but... Okay. So... It almost looks like there's something, like, written on her chest above her left breast, but I can't... Or, like, she's scarred or something. Interesting. Is that someone's jacket? I don't know. Yeah, because there's supposed to be a... You meant my other right, didn't you? Oh, there it is. Hold on. Ah. No, that's not poster. Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, so... are we thinking that's Maria? That's probably Maria. Oh, I keep thinking and forgetting to say this. Another thing I wanted to bring up about Maria's character design is, and this is in the original too, you can tell that her hair isn't naturally blonde because you can kind of see the dark roots at her part. And she's also got like the red at the tips. But I'm almost positive I read something from like one of the interviews with the creators of the original Silent Hill 2, or like from one of the lore things, that they made Maria's hair as like a like subtle reference to the fact that like she has James's hair, and like the referencing the fact that she came from James. She is a manifestation of James's. Okay, I think that's everything in there. I think we're good to do the motel now. I'll explore. So many windows to break, so little time. Okay. Should we already...
Not getting through here.
Yep.
No reason to. It's the wrong way anyway.
And yeah, right beyond this is where we're getting to with the Baldwin Mansion.
You think it'll stare back?
Oh. Oh. How droll. A reference to the abyss staring back. Saw a meme recently that I loved that was like, for the last time, the abyss is for staring. The void is for screaming into. Please stop screaming into the abyss. We are not insured for that. Okay. So, motel. We've got a thing here. We need a code. We've got a note. If anyone needs anything, I'm fixing the pipes at 107. The code we need is in 107. Anything else in here? In Control. Looks like a movie poster. Oh, and there's a puppy. Okay. Oh, this is the thing that you pointed out, Cleo. Madame Boutique. Is that for condoms? Something else? Unsure. Suspect dispenser in the front office of Jackson Motel. Okay, yeah, checked that door. There's nothing in that window. Nothing here. Checked the door already. Up here, we're going to have a reference to Silent Hill 3. Room 106.
Cozy.
This room. There's something wrong with it. I think we should leave.
Oh, loosen up, James. Sure beats running around with those monsters out there.
I'm not so sure.
So the bad vibes that James is getting from this room come from something underneath the wallpaper that will be revealed when we come back later at nighttime. But this is specifically a reference to Silent Hill 3, where halfway through the game, I don't know if it's halfway, but oh, and the hat, yes. In Silent Hill 3, you play as Heather Mason, and she is called to the town for reasons that I've gotten into another, but for the sake of time, I won't get too deep into. But to make a long story short, she and this detective, Cartland, stay in this motel as they travel to Silent Hill 3, or as they travel to Silent Hill, and that is Cartland's hat. So either it's just supposed to be a fun reference, or something is going on time-wise. And Heather and Douglas have already been here. And the lovely thing about Silent Hill is it can be either. It could just be a nice little Easter egg for the fans, or if you want to make it work within the context of the story, you can come up with a variety of different ways to do so.
Can you let me in?
Oh, yeah. Is James already looking?
Why, thank you. right, sir.
Okay. There's one of Maria's. There's Maria's outfit from the original Silent Hill 2 hanging in the closet there, which Maria will comment on after we get the thing in this room that we came here to get. Which we need to go through a wall to get. Honestly, part of me is like, this would be way more alarming than breaking the windows of cars. But, I mean, yeah, breaking the windows of cars would still be alarming. And this would just be an escalation of that. So maybe at this point, Maria would just be like, okay, I guess this is just a thing you do. 1, 1 less. 3, 1 more. 8, 3 less. 0, 1 more. This code is a lot tougher and hard. It's just worded really weird. But 1, 1 less, so that's 0, 3, 1 more, 4, 8, 3 less, 5, 0, 1 more, 1, 4, 5, 0, 4, 5, 1, like in my username. I don't believe they were referencing me, although I am the most famous streamer using 451 in their username, I'm sure. But I believe I read up online that like 451 is a common code that like game developers like to use in adventure games and stuff. I might be wrong about that, but also like is a reference to, could be a reference to Fahrenheit 451.
You think I'd look good in this one?
And there's her outfit from the original game.
Sure.
Not quite the ringing endorsement, but hey, I'll take it.
Isn't this technically a glimpse of the past? Or would I have had to check it before? The last number is 0. The one more it to say there is one more 0. 100% it's Sexton. Okay. Let me check something. Well, I was going to pause it anyway, so I want to check because I can see what achievements are still active for me. Radio Silence Archivist. Cool. I'm still on track for Archivist. Oh, I must have missed a glimpse of the past, though, because... Or maybe that's one of the hidden achievements. So, yeah, that's probably a hidden achievement, so it's not showing that it's in progress. Okay. Cool. Alright. So, we got the code. And I'm going to save it. I'll probably save it again. But, oh my gosh. Alright. Break into the safe. And then have a scripted moment with Maria that will bond us together.
James,
Hold on, I'm looking at this gate key.
thanks.
I was examining the gate key. Okay. And now this area is also open.
Thank you, James. I'm not sure I would have made it.
Well, I'm pretty sure, Maria, if the player doesn't help you there, you actually do survive, but there are many other places where you can actually die, so... In that particular case, I think you would have made it, but for the future. Okay. I'm going to do a quick check of my checklist to make sure I got all the stuff in this area. did I find? I didn't find this. I'm not doing the photos anyway. Got the bloody note. Got the Bolorama. Glimpse of the past. Got the rusty key. Cryptic letter in the safe. Got the stairs for Heaven's Night. Got the made it photo. Got the reception desk note because that's part of the thing. Toolbox memo. Upstairs at Jackson. And oh, that's the one for the that gave us the code. Okay, so I think I got all the things I needed to, and we should be ready to move on to the. Oh, Maria actually does die there. Jeez. They really hated her. Interesting. I will not ask follow-up questions because the answers will probably make me sad. It's got a little cowboy boot on it. How fun is that? Okay. Maria's little yay there is so goofy. I love it. Yeah, but there's bullets this way, Maria. I know you said to go the other way, but there's bullets this way. And the chasm again. And over here we have Baldwin Mansion. So, Baldwin Mansion is the primary location in the Born from a Wish side scenario from the original Silent Hill 2. You play as Maria, and you start off actually in Heaven's Night. It seems like she's just woken up or popped into existence, perhaps, and she's not really sure what she's doing. She finds her way to the mansion, and there's a guy in there named Ernest Baldwin who is like locked behind a door, and she's like, hey, let me in, I'd like to see another human face. And he's like, nah, I don't want to do that. It was really interesting watching it again after not playing it in like 20 years, because there were things that I definitely didn't remember, but after you talk to him and you start exploring the house more, I think as you're walking down the stairs away from his room, you hear a gunshot. And I was like, oh, I don't remember that. And then later you find a puzzle that has tiles that need to be put into a statue, because Silent Hill. It's a white one, a black one, and a red one. And the reason I remember that is because they're supposed to be like references to alchemy. You get a key from the tombstone, and there's a message about like gone too soon. You use the key, which is called the Acacia key, to get up into the attic, and there is a birthday card that says like, hey, happy birthday, Daddy, from your favorite daughter, Amy Baldwin, I think. And as you're going down from the attic, she's like, please give it to my daddy. And so you go back to the room and slide the letter under the door, and Ernest is like, oh shit, I fucked up, because apparently he's still there even though we heard a gunshot. And he's like, oh, it's been like, how to discover this, why did I have to discover this so late? And you get the impression that Amy, his daughter, fell from some height, or like maybe the attic, and died. That was her tombstone in this little weird like interior garden. And Ernest just locked himself in his room and couldn't deal with it. Perhaps killed himself. Not really sure. Like so many things in Silent Hill, it's left very ambiguous. But he's like, hey, wait, there still may be a chance, because if you're here, because he seems to know something about Maria and her existence, and so he tells you to go to the building over, which is Blue Creek, and get this white chrism, I think it is, which is over here on the table. And she brings it back, and you get the implication that he's like, he knows about the rebirth ritual, which is the thing that gives you the rebirth ending in Silent Hill 2. And so you get the impression, oh, maybe he's trying to bring back his daughter. Um, and then he seems to imply, like, he somehow knows stuff about Maria. Like, after you bring back the white chrism, he's like, uh, Maria, he's like, that James is a bad man. And she's like, even Maria doesn't know, like, can't remember anything about James, or doesn't know anything about James at that point. She's like, James? And then he says something like, Maria, you're, like, as if he's about to say exactly what she is. And she's like, you know what? That's just your theory. We don't know for certain. And then when you finish your conversation with him, open the door, and there's nobody in the room. And yeah, it's up on the roof of Baldwin Mansion too. There's some graffiti that says like "Stay out of the haunted mansion." So a lot of weird stuff happens there. It feels a little bit like what does it say on it? I deny thee. I mean, yeah, that's I guess what you're gonna do if you're saying like, hey, I don't accept that my loved one died. I want to bring them back. I deny thee, Satan, or death, or whatever you want to say. Probably death.
That liquid. What is that?
And that's another thing that's honestly kind of like sad and fucked up about everything that happens with Maria is like, especially the way they play it off here, it's like she did all the stuff in Baldwin Mansion and now she doesn't remember it, or she remembers bits and pieces, kind of the way that the other characters in the game seem to remember or forget things, like James or Angela.
Is everything all right?
Yeah, it's just... This place... It just gives me the creeps. I'm not sure why.
You ever been inside?
I'm not sure. It does feel familiar somehow. Like a bad memory. It's nothing, really.
And compared to so much of the other stuff that Maria says to you, that feels genuine. She could still potentially be putting something on, like maybe she doesn't want to let on, but she wants to like imply stuff. But I get the impression from that is a genuine reaction she's having. Like she doesn't remember being there, and part of that might just be because they wanted to reference it, but they didn't know that they were going to be able to do the Born from a Wish scenario. But it also adds this layer of like, what is Maria's existence? How does her brain work and her memories and everything, and like what sort of existence is it at the end of the day? And that's one of the many ways that I feel like they make her a much more sympathetic and multi-dimensional character than she was in the original game.
So, James. 3 years. That's a long time.
I would love it if my frame
What
rate
will you tell
would
her if,
catch up.
when you find her?
That I love her.
Oh, then. Lucky her.
What's that supposed to mean?
Nothing. Like I said, 3 years is a long time.
What are you implying? Another creepy little bit of dialogue. There is a gate on next to one of these houses that is for the dog ending. I know at some point we're going to be triggering... Oh, there it is. Okay. Found it. And the rest of the dog key. That looks like a human bone. What sort of dog was living here? But we can go here and combine this with this. And at the end of the game, if we've got time, maybe I'll show you guys the dog ending. It's fun. Okay. We are soon going to be upgrading to the lead pipe instead of our wooden 2x4 with rusty nails sticking out of it. Oh yeah, the note at the pet center. They caught it near cats. See, continuity. Gotta love it. Okay. Got bullets. It's 8:30. I think we can definitely. I think we're gonna make it to Moonlight Grove and at least the theater. At the rate that we're going. Road work ahead. I already made that joke in another one, and everyone's made that joke at this point. Oh, crap! Is this the?
Strange. This should not be here.
Yeah, that's an understatement.
Oh, it is. So, what now?
Now we look for another way.
What?
I think I got all the stuff that I needed to.
James? More of them.
Well, we're not gonna stick around. Okay, which way are we going? I think we can go both ways, actually. I feel like this should do more damage. Oh, come on. Maria! Get out of the way! Oh, come on. Oh, jeez. Okay. Health. I got a letter. This is no time for letter reading, James. Okay. Yeah, I think you can go both ways. Hey there. I don't care. Just die already. Okay, I guess you can't go both ways. Oh wait, no, yeah, there's weird sort of like... Oh! Nah, come on. Bullets. I'm gonna use another health. We're going to a hospital. Surely there will be a bunch of health potions there. And nurses who will care for our wounds and not kill us with lead pipes. Oh, come on. Oh, Cleo. Who amongst us has not gotten lost? in the fog of Silent Hill. No, come on, I dodged. Ah, jeez. Come on. Stomp it out! James. Oh, is there another thing? Oh, come on. Oh, there's a third one. Oh, come on. Okay, it may be chainsaw time. Just so I can get through this more quickly. You know what? Yeah, that'll make this part a whole lot more fun. Here we go. Come at me, motherfuckers. Ah. Come on, James. We gotta be able to aim. Yeah, I know I'm going backwards, but I was intentionally doing this because I wanted to see if I missed anything. Okay. So yeah, going this way. Of course, now there's probably going to be like no creatures, and I pulled the chainsaw out way too late for it to be useful. Actually, no, I think there is more. Stuff over here? No. Okay. I think there's a creeper around somewhere, and that's what he's reacting to, but I'm not going to go searching for it. Is this way? Yes. Is there anything else over this way? Just to make sure. Or is that another area that I can loot? What the? Oh, this is the way we're going. Okay. And like any good adventure gamer, I can't go the way that we're going yet. I haven't discovered everything. What was that? That was some sort of howling screech. I got more bullets to find. I can't advance yet. Okay. Keeping it together, Maria? Good. I have to say, as cheap as it is, there is something incredibly satisfying about killing things in one hit with the chainsaw. That was a door that we can come through. Went up here already, right? Yes, okay. Now we can advance. James really knows how to handle his pipe, though. Shame we don't get to see more of that. Now, Andy, if I didn't know better, I would think that you were making a bit of a double entendre there, as it were. Yes, I know it's pronounced double on top. I was making a joke. Is this back the way I came? This is back the way I came. Okay. Yeah, there are many branching pathways in this section because they don't expect you to actually try to explore everything. Nope. Don't have the time. Marie. Oh, you know where we're going. But Maria, but there could be more things. Bullets, health drinks, creatures to kill, frame rates to regain. At least let me find my frame rate, please. Find my lost frames and restore my fluid gameplay. Oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. Okay, I just want to go up the stairs over there, please. Okay. Easy does it. An ender? Hardly know her. Okay. Let's actually go to the place Maria told us to go to. Okay. Frame rate is back. Okay, 8:38. And yeah, we're about to get to the next piece of musical magic that Akira Yamaoka has given us. It's another piece in the Dorian mode, so we know that he's doing something funky there, or bluesy, or whatever. This piece of music in the remake called Lament of Heaven's Night is a recreation of the track Heaven's Night from the original Silent Hill 2 2001 soundtrack. Now I'm starting to sound like an NPR host or something. And first we gotta have this moment with Maria. This isn't the music I was talking about. A moment lovingly transcribed from the original game. Nice little bit of piano music here. New music. We got a little bit of a Dorian mode note in there, even though this is mostly minor feel. Right here, coming up. There's that Dorian mode note, that raised sixth. Another piece of music where Akira Yamaoka is using the Dorian mode in Maria scene. What could this place be? Looks like there's a bunch of taps for beer. Maybe it's a bar. Maybe it's just a bar. But why has Maria brought us here? Ooh, I love to see some health and some rusty syringes that I can jam into my flesh when I'm low on health. I think there's a photo in here, yes. Ready to kill it. Ooh. That can't be... Is that here? No, she couldn't have led us to... No. And bullets. Well, it's good to know that they know how to defend themselves here. Excuse me. Stage door? What could that mean?
Maria? Hello?
Hello? Maria. Oh, well, I mean. Okay, we don't need to linger on that. But maybe, no. Okay. And what was that? A red light? You don't have to, Maria, you don't have to turn on the red light. Amat. Hey, in fairness, a local bar could be a special place for young couples. Now, this place specifically, doubtful. Got some old arcade games. Trample! Wonder if that's supposed to be a reference to Rampage or something. More health. Well, there's health here, so thank you for that, Maria. I love the slow reveal so much while he just bumbles around. Yeah, Cleo. Also, I keep thinking about this, but funnily enough, one of the ways that I've been differentiating remake James and the original James, and I feel like in the original game, James is a little bit of a himbo. Like, not in the sense that he's super handsome or anything, but the way he acts, where he's just like, you could be her twin. Your hair, your clothes are like he seems so clueless in so many ways, in an almost like charming, endearing way. Whereas remake James is a little bit more with it, as it were. Okay, so next piece of music we're about to hear is, as I mentioned, Lament of Heaven's Night, and it's another piece in Dorian mode and uses a bunch of cool chord progressions and some interesting musical moments that tell us more about who Maria is in similar ways to Null Moon did. But I'll talk more about them after we hit the scene and cue the music. Well, I think it's clear where Maria has brought us.
Maria?
Got that drum and bass again.
What? Come on, don't give me that look. I was just kidding.
What is this? Is this a special place you meant?
Don't be silly. Just have to go through and out the front. Then again, now that we're here, can't we stay just for a little while? Catch our breath before we head back out there.
I don't have time to take a break. Mary could be out there, waiting for me.
I know. It's just this place, this
Changing
whole
tack
thing.
again.
It's like a nightmare. I just wanted to get away from it, even for a second. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I guess this place is getting to me, too. Am I crazy? You know, for thinking she could be here.
Crazy is one word for it, I guess. I can think of another.
What's that?
Hopeful.
Well, that's a nicer way of putting it.
Here.
Oh, the frame rate.
What are you doing?
Something to take the edge off. You sure? Fine. Be that way. There's two. Hope. Undying.
Yeah, naive is probably a better word for it.
Should probably get going.
Fine. Ready when you are.
Okay. So there is a line in the original game that isn't in the new, the remake. Uh, that implies that James had some drinking issues, and they kind of do a little bit more show than to tell. Okay, really quick, I'm going to pause. I'm going to switch back over to my music mode, but then I'm going to unpause the game because there's stuff I want to try to point out as it's happening in the piece of music, since it plays on loop in this area. So yeah, that is a new scene for the remake that is really cool. And it fleshes out Maria more as a character. It shows that like James is dedicated to his task, but Maria has an ulterior motive with all of this stuff. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just vamping while I switch over to my piano setup. But yeah, if this journey that James is going on is a journey through the underworld or purgatory or hell or whatever, in a sense, this is definitely a moment of temptation. And I really want to dig into how Akira Yamaoka implies that through the music. So, like I said before, we're working in the Dorian mode, except in this piece it's F minor. Something that I keep thinking about, I haven't talked about much, is like Akira Yamaoka really likes his tonal clusters. Like the chord that this piece starts out on is like and tonal clusters are just like clumps of notes together. We've got this crunch here that kind of sounds really cool. But yeah, so that is the key that we're working in. And yeah, let's resume the game, and I'll play along a little bit with the music itself. See, I've got this at the beginning. Up in the upper register, bass doing it. A lot of these suspended tones in that guitar. There's that Dorian mode note. And then we get into this B section. And we've talked before about how Akira Yamaoka really likes to play around with diatonic and non-diatonic chords, and he's doing a lot of that right here. Lots of tones that aren't part of the scale. And then here, that piano. I am going to pause for a moment there because there's a bunch of stuff going on there. I talked about how in that B section we've got a lot of non-diatonic tones that give this kind of a spooky feel, where if we were just working in notes from like the F minor scale or the F Dorian scale, we would expect that progression we heard to go. But instead, he gives us, which these are all minor chords, and they also have these non-diatonic notes in there, with that is not part of the F minor or F Dorian scale. Another one here. But the root notes of the chords are part of the F minor scale. So it's a weird way where it's not supposed to work, but it does kind of work. But again, one of the reasons I keep bringing up the non-diatonic versus diatonic stuff every time we talk about the music is because as we get further into the game, we're hearing how Akira Yamaoka is bringing in more non-diatonic stuff, more mode mixture, all this stuff that gives the music this off vibe where it's like, oh, this is kind of like this dark but like sexy piece of music for the strip club, but it still has this offness of like, yeah, it's a strip club in Silent Hill, so how much of a good time can we really have here? And then we get to back to the A section chord progression where it's just kind of rocking on the F minor chord, and we hear. So, both of those notes are part of the F Dorian scale. So, my first few times hearing this piece, I was like, I could hear, oh, that's an interesting choice of notes, but it didn't immediately jump out at me what exactly it was, because it was like, oh, this fits in the vibe of the song. Let's talk about tritones, the devil's chord, as it was called. So we're getting back into music theory stuff with scale degrees and all that. A tritone is a flat 5 or an augmented fourth, depending on how you phrase it. But if our fifth, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's a perfect fifth. That's a tritone. You hear it a lot in horror music, any music that's supposed to sound discordant or creepy. And when I play it next to a perfect fifth like that, back and forth, you can hear like, oh yeah, that just sounds wrong. Interesting thing about a tritone is mathematically it is equidistant from either end of the scale in terms of steps. So if this is the root, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That gives us the tritone. If we're going down from the octave above, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That gives us the tritone. As I mentioned before, this is often called the devil's chord because back in the like Renaissance era, or in the early days of like the medieval church and Renaissance era church, they were like, that is the most discordant thing I've ever heard, so it must be of the devil. And so beyond it just being a discordant chord that people use a lot in horror because it sounds creepy to the Western ear, it also is often used to imply like devilish intent or ill intent or subterfuge or any number of things, or just to give you that like creep factor. I'm trying to think of like a good example in popular media to use for it, but it sounds wrong. Now, why am I bringing this up? In Lament of Heaven's Night, the version of this piece that Akira Yamaoka wrote for the remake, we go through that creepy progression, and then we get back into the F minor section, and the first thing we hear is, that is a tritone there. And to hear that in the Heaven's Night music as Maria is trying to seduce James, essentially, is like, it's so bald-faced that the fact I almost feel embarrassed for not realizing it the first few times I heard this piece in the remake. It's like, don't trust Maria. And then he goes like, and then he does it again. And then he does a little like, and then he does a little bluesy thing that's like, yeah. And he's like, no, but it's still like, it's cool, like sexy. Yes, we are winning, Dave. We're talking about the tritone, the devil's chord, in the context of Heaven's Night and the music here. So I'm going to start the music back up, and we'll hear that tritone again. And we know that it means, hey, don't trust Maria. There it is. Again, he just does it over and over again, as if to say, like, no, I didn't do that by accident. I'm doing this on purpose. And then we get back to the creepy progression. Another thing I talked about in an email with Cleo is how this piece of music in the remake almost has a sonata structure, where we've got an A and a B theme, and then we've got a development section in the middle where we move away from the tonal center, and then we come back to the theme at the end. And I think we're about to move to what could be considered the development section. So we're in our root chord, F minor. C minor, that's still diatonic to F minor, F Dorian. Now we're in E flat minor. Now we're in A flat minor. Again, there are notes in these scales that are not diatonic to F minor. And then we're back to F. So we have that development section of a sonata feel where it's like, oh, we're moving away from our tonal center. Again, we're moving on a thematic level away from James's quest. He's trying to find his wife, and Maria's like, nah, we're going to take this detour through the strip club. Forget about your wife. I mean, I didn't say that. Don't forget about your wife. That's very sweet that you're still looking for her, even though she's dead. And we're getting that on a textual level with, like, the pouring of the alcohol, the little coy, flirtatious things that Maria says. And we're getting on a subliminal level with the music, where it's literally, like, Cleo has often said, like, a reaction that people have to Maria is like, girl, I don't know you. And I was like, yeah, we get to the middle of the song, it's like, girl, I don't know what key we're in. I don't know where we're going. And it works on so many different levels, and I just love it. And that is the beauty and genius of Lament of Heaven's Night. And now we're going to get back to gameplay. Oh. Whoops, hold on. Okay. So yeah. And we're going to hear that music again. I'm going to search around here for stuff.
Is that you?
Would you like it to be?
That comes off as like, okay, yeah, that's regular coy, flirtatious talk and stuff. But as I was talking before about Maria, one of the things that I really feel like they explored with her in the remake is this idea of, like, she is trying everything she can to make James love her because she knows that she is manifested from his mind. And if he doesn't fall for her, then what does that mean for her? And so her saying, oh, would you like it to be? It comes off as just coy, flirtatious, but it's also like there is some truth or like genuine, there's some sincerity to that question that James has no way of knowing because he still doesn't know what the fuck is going on. And there's a bunch of stuff. Say BY, by butterfly, tritone. Yeah, I'm so glad I'm doing this playthrough because it's given me an excuse to do what I've always wanted to do, which is just do such a deep dive on everything in this. There's a glimpse of the past over here that I will not miss. We've got a nurse's outfit here. Or I guess it's not a glimpse of a past, it's just a reference. Which could be a reference to the nurses in Brookhaven. Or Alchemilla, the hospital from the original game, which is a medical hospital rather than an insane asylum. And perhaps was worn by one of the ladies on the stage here. I think there's also stuff behind the bar to explore. Yeah, so we've got this lost and found box. There's a ring in there, maybe a wedding ring. And there's a picture of what looks like not a like digital created character. That looks like it might be a real picture, and I almost wonder if it's a picture of someone from the movie, because I have done a movie adaptation of Silent Hill 2, and it's not released yet, and there hasn't been any word about it. But, yeah, what could this tell us? We've got sunglasses, we've got a picture, we've got a wallet, we've got a ring. I almost want to say that picture looks like it could be Laura, which is unfortunate considering where we find it. Or maybe it's someone else entirely. Maybe it's one of the people who worked on the game. The Fifth River. Special Old Reserve. Okay, that's got to be a reference to something. Is that a lotus flower on it? Someone went out of bounds. The face is scratched out. Oh, you mean someone went out of bounds of the game, like using a hack, and looked at the picture and the face is scratched out. Interesting. Where are you looking at? You're still looking at the beer, James? Yeah. No, you're being very good, James. You're not indulging. Okay, did I check out everything here? Oh wait, no, I gotta check out the stripper pole. Leth is the Fifth River. Lotus Eaters. Thank you, Cleo. Yeah, more Greek mythology references. Leth, the River of Forgetfulness. I don't know if it's pronounced Leth, Lethe, Lethe, Leith. I've always pronounced it Leth.
You gonna dance for me, big guy? I'd pay to see that.
I mean, I'll just say that, Maria, you and I are on the same wavelength. As two people who are attracted to men. You're quietly taking notes on tones. I hope all of that made sense, all the music stuff. In summary, like, music, it's got the devil's tone in it, because Maria is, like, tempting seductress devil or something. I don't know. It sounded a lot cooler when I was really excited and getting into deep music theory stuff. Okay. It's 9:05. We might get to Brookhaven, or at least through the theater. My brain just wanted to say thesaurus, and I'm like, that is not it at all. Oh, also we've got the kiss sign, which reflected looks like the word sick. Oh, I'm glad. So Cleo said, okay, it did, and you playing the chords was like seeing a curtain ripped back. Yeah, like, again, so much of the stuff, like, I could sense on a subliminal level, but it wasn't until I actually sat down and started figuring out the notes and everything that I realized, oh, this B section, not the one playing now, but the one with the chords, the B section is just using parallel minor chords, which works on a, like, basic pattern level, but on a mathematical level and an aural level sounds wrong to us because it takes us into all these non-diatonic areas. Like, right in your face. Nothing? See, that's how you can tell that Maria isn't a real person.
Let me know when you want to move on.
Yeah, I think it's about time. Oh, I'm so glad, Cleo. I'm glad that
Let's go.
All right then.
that discussion was fun. Okay, I'm ready to go. The friggin' lighting in this game and the environments, I'm just...
We can come back later if you want. You know, in case we need a break.
I'm not sure if that's a good idea.
Whatever you say. I mean, any port is storm, right?
What a phrase.
Guess so.
Is there anything else in here? Okay. No, don't worry, Maria. I'm on my way. I want to make sure I'm not missing any items or anything. then we've got the... This is probably the most, like, pretty lighting that we're going to get in this entire game. This sort of, like, twilight sunset kind of thing. Oh! Let's switch back to the... If you needed any other proof of why I don't use the chainsaw in sections like this, I was literally just talking about how pretty and atmospheric it is, and then just broke out the chainsaw. Oh, that was beautiful. I'm so glad that happened. It proved my point so well. Yeah. But yeah, we get this nice little, like, twilight, half-light, dusk look. Which, that's another thing I really appreciate about Bloober's adaptation of the game in particular is, like, the way that they do the lighting of the sky over the course of the game, it's like, you get the impression that this whole story takes place over, like, a day. And James doesn't sleep at all. And so when he gets to the late part of the game and you can actually see the
Okay, it's not far enough.
the circles under his eyes. Is this the way I want to go? Oh, I should go the other way, actually. That's taking us towards Moonlight Groove, and I want to make sure that I don't miss anything. Okay, so this area is blocked off. There's a door, but we can't go through it. Really hope the frame rate doesn't crap out on us during the Shadow of the Lover's Tree scene, because it did on my first playthrough, and I was like, well, this is disappointing. But it didn't on my second playthrough, so maybe we'll luck out. Okay. Yeah, there's only the one way we can go. Let's break some more car windows. Oh, there it is. I don't think you want your something like this just wide open. Is this a fuse box or like? Oh my gosh, that can't be safe. What's back there? Oh, is that an alternative way to get to Moonlight Grove? Another way that Akira Yamaoka kind of like obscures certain things in the music is by the tones that he uses. Like those creepy chords, they kind of blend into the background because they're these like very atmospheric synth tones that just kind of blend together. Whereas when I play them on the piano, it's much more obvious where those dissonances are. Let's go down this alley. I'm sure it's fine. Oh, it's not fine. Maria. Frame rate! Okay, we're back. Ah, come on. Up. Aha. You got moves, but I got moves too. The only video game that does not have a fuse puzzle. Yeah. Ooh, bullets. Did I go all the way down this? I think I did. Oh yeah, and then I turned around because there was the alleyway. Which both ways will lead us to... Oh, no, this one is blocked off. Okay. Like that lighting coming through the fog. Amat, you mentioned earlier how beautiful the fog is in this game. Yeah, the gall of people when they first started seeing screenshots of this to say they got the fog all wrong. I'm like, are you kidding me? They would have killed to have fog that looked like this back in 2001. And now I'm just running in circles. I need to actually go where I need to go. And also, like, Masahiro Ito on Twitter, I think, talked about how he worked with the with Bloober team to, like, the amount of fog at any one point is supposed to kind of reflect James's mental state. And so those chase sequence sections where, like, you get a ton of that, like, billowy, stormy fog. Those are moments where James is in a state of mental duress, as it were. And right now it's like, oh, it's kind of pretty and stuff, but there's still all this fog. James is still confused, unsure. There's a huge chasm in the road. Who wouldn't be?
Look, we're on the other side of that chasm.
Look how far we've come.
But hey, at least we're here.
Here mean where exactly?
Come on, we'll find out. This is it.
Yeah, don't go through there yet. There's other stuff I want to explore, Maria. I don't want to trigger the next scene yet. I want to make sure I got all the items. It's incredible, and the current lighting is very golden hour and lovely. Yeah, I learned the term the golden hour ages ago, and it is such a great way to describe this sort of lighting. We're starting to finally get some of this sort of lighting in upstate New York, but then today it just decided to snow.
More of those things.
Yeah, we should talk to their manager about this. Alessa, why are you sending these our way? Oh, we've got the movie posters. I was here. That almost looks like the like a tunnel that you fight your first creature in it from the original Silent Hill 2, which could be a funny way of saying, like, I was here in the original game. The void screams back. Interesting. So many references to the void and the abyss in this game. And then coming soon, non-existence. I'm sure Cleo's going to have a ton to say about the movie posters, and we'll see more of them in the theater shortly. But yeah, some of them seem to relate to, like, existence and, like, what's real and what's not. Was I here? Is Maria real? Okay. I'm going to do a quick scan of my checklist again to make sure I got everything I needed to in this section. Got the white chrism, broken dog key, ready to kill it. Church entrance, inside Moonlight Grove. There's a strange photo, and then in the theater. Okay, so those are ones I'm coming up on. Okay, and I have my notes up for Shadow of the Lover's Tree. Cool. We're doing it. We're getting to all three of the pieces of music that I wanted to get to. Sweet. Oh, there's a Cronenberg movie called Existence that's reasonably relevant. Interesting. So this is a new location and a new scene that they made for the remake. And there's a new piece of music called Shadow of the Lover's Tree, which I'm going to talk about a little bit before. Actually, I think I'll save my discussion of the piece afterwards, because I kind of want you to focus on what's actually happening in the scene, because it is a really interesting scene. And the stuff that I say about the music will be more relevant after the scene.
There's a bit more to it than that.
If you say so. I don't think I've been here before.
Come on. She's just around the corner.
She?
Oh, frame rate, please. Ah. Okay. Actually, you know what? It did just autosave. I'm gonna see if I can load the game from the autosave, and maybe it won't be so crappy.
That's it? A garden?
There's a bit more to it than that.
If you say so. I don't think I've been here before.
Come on. She's just around the corner.
Oh, come on.
She?
Okay.
Who is she?
There's a story told around these parts. Kind of a local legend. Tells of a woman who was cast out. Sentenced to die on an island out on the lake. There was a man in town who fell madly in love with her. And every night, he would sneak out. Row across the lake, bringing her food and company. And every night, she would stand there, on the shore, holding a lit candle to help him find his way. But this one night, a terrible storm broke out. Caught him out in the open, and it blew out the candle. Even in darkness, the man would not give up. He would not turn back. So he fought against the raging waters until finally the lake took him. They say even then, the woman never lost hope. She kept coming out at night, kept lighting the candle to bring her beloved home, to lead him to shore. Not sure how much truth there is to it. It's probably just a fairy tale. But she's become something of a local saint. Patron of undying love. Hence this place.
She's not here.
What?
She's not here. And why would she be? I don't even remember this place. This was a mistake. I shouldn't come here.
Hey. It's okay. There's plenty of other places to look. We can still...
Come on.
Okay. More music to discuss. And story stuff to discuss. So, we just got a local legend from Maria. Again, this is a scene that was added to the remake. And Cleo and I have talked a bunch about this scene. I remember watching the scene the first time and being like, okay, clearly there's stuff going on here, but my brain's just not firing on all cylinders yet. But upon rewatches, I'll probably get more from it and talking it out and that sort of thing. woman cast out to an island. Uh, the man who loves her keeps going out to see her. She holds a candle to show him where to go. There's a terrible storm one night, and he tries to keep going, but he ends up dying. And the woman keeps coming out to light her candle, hoping that he'll return. First of all, this will be echoed later on the lake. It'll also be echoed later in the Historical Society before the lake, where we get another version of this tale, which I'll dig more into that when we get there. But in this initial telling, I initially wasn't sure why Maria would be telling this story, because it's like, oh, the woman in the story must be Mary. Why would Maria? And Maria talks about her like, oh, she's become something of a saint around here and stuff. Like, why would Maria tell a story that essentially paints Mary as this saint-like figure? And then I thought about how if the woman in the story is Mary and James is the man dies in this story. And so what Maria might be implying is like, hey, if you keep trying to find your wife the way that you have just talked about incessantly since we met, you are going to die. This town and the storm that it's created, yes, a terrible storm, any port in a storm, Cleo. I like that you pointed that out. The storm that is Silent Hill is going to kill you. So maybe you should stop trying to get through the storm to your wife, who might not even be there, and you should go with me. But James is very intent on his quest, and that's why after she finishes the story, he says she's not here. He's still thinking about Mary's. He hasn't gotten the message that Maria is trying to send him, to her disappointment. And it like, again, I love the line delivery and the performance from Salome Gunnarsdottir in this scene, because it is so subtle. Like, she plays it fairly sincerely, but also like at some point it feels like, oh, maybe the first time actually watching it this time, I was like, I think there may be some admiration there in her, and like literally looking up at this statue and thinking about how, like, man, if I could just be her, then that would be what you need. But I'm not her. But there's still game to play. There's still story to tell. And so she still has hope that she can win James over. So when it comes to the music side of things, like I said before, this is a piece that is new to the remake. And it's very different from the previous two pieces that we heard in Maria's scenes. We started off with Null Moon, which had that the drum bass groove and like the Dorian mode stuff, and was kind of spooky in certain ways. And then we had Heaven's Night, which had a lot of those same elements and added in the tritone as a way to signal, like, hey, this woman is not to be trusted. And now we've got a piece that is much different. And on a harmonic level, we've returned to this very diatonic. We're in C minor. We've got that flat 6. We hear it at one point. We hear the bass go. That's like we've got the right hand doing the. And at some point we hear. Not that exactly rhythmically, but we'll get to that. So we know that we're in C minor, which is like a lot of the pieces in this game use C minor and F minor. Like, Akira Yamaoka really seems to like those keys. Another piece from the original that isn't on the remake soundtrack because they essentially just use it as it was recorded in the original is Fermata and Mystic Air. That's a piece from the original that's in C minor. So what's going on here? Why has Maria's music changed? As because Maria is changing tack again. She is like, okay, you don't like the like sexy drum and bass groove stuff. You don't like the non-diatonic harmonic stuff. Okay, I will tell you a story that is like puts Mary on a pedestal. The music is going to be the same sort of music that we've heard with all the stuff associated with Mary. It's very natural minor and diatonic, very somber. Is that more to your liking? But even then, there is an offness to the music that she can't account for. And instead of it being a harmonic offness, it is a rhythmic offness. So we haven't talked a ton about rhythmic stuff so far. Most of the stuff we focused on is harmony and melody and how those relate to the themes of the game and the storytelling. In this piece, I think it's particularly important to talk about the rhythmic side of things, because if the previous two pieces are conveying that offness and mystery with non-diatonic harmonies and stuff, this piece is conveying the offness of what Maria is doing on a rhythmic level. Hey Dan, welcome to the stream. We're talking about time signatures, which we are very familiar with lately, because in our band we are working on a song that alternates between a bunch of different time signatures. But in this piece, Shadow of the Lover's Tree, even though harmonically it's all diatonic, it all makes sense to our ears, rhythmically we have like 3 different things going on that are just layered on top of each other. We've got the riff that starts the song, the melody that starts the song, which is... It's just that repeated over and over again, and that on a rhythmic level is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Most music that you hear is going to be in either 4 or 3, where that's referring to like how many beats in a measure, like any pop song, or like going back to something like Heaven's Night. We've got that rhythm of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Most of the music we've heard up until this point has been in 4. This starts off with a riff that is in 5, and 5 is considered an odd time signature because rhythmically it feels a little off-kilter. Like most famous thing that I always think of with something in 5 is the old jazz standard Take 5. Hold on. It's been a while since I've played this one. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a kind of weird feel. Something that may be more familiar to contemporary audiences is Everything's Alright from Jesus Christ Superstar, which is basically Take 5 in a major key, and it is kind of a rip-off, and Andrew Lloyd Webber should be ashamed. Hold on, let me get back to... Everything's alright, yes, everything's fine, and we want you to sleep well tonight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, that's I think there's definitely a Thrice song in 5, Dan. They've used some interesting time signatures in some of their songs. I think the one you might be thinking of is on the Water album in the Alchemy Index. But yeah, so we're starting the piece off with an odd time signature. So even if melodically we're in an area where we're consonant and diatonic, we've got this off-kilter thing to start off, but it's just this single melody thing, so it's not that big of a deal. We're just repeating these same 5 notes over again. Then we get the bass, which is doing this kind of thing, and we hear that happening under where it's like, but it comes in on weird beats, and I actually counted it out just focusing on that bass part. The bass is in 9. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know if those are the exact notes, but that's what it's doing rhythmically. It's repeating in 9. So we have something in 5 layered on top of something in 9. And then this melody line comes in that's going and that is in 4. It's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's all 3 of those things are layered on top of each other at once. Our ostinato or riff in 5, our bass line in 9, and then this melody in 4. So we have like 3 different rhythms going on at the same time. So even though on a harmonic level everything is consonant and perhaps more to James's liking, rhythmically it's still like, oh, this still doesn't feel right. And the main reason it doesn't jump out at us is because there's no rhythm section. We don't have that drum and bass anymore, which typically in most popular music is what gives us a sense of, okay, this is the actual rhythm of the music. Without that there, we've just got these disparate parts. The bass section, like, there's not enough going on there even to really give us grounding. We just get those 2 chords every 9 beats. So it's barely keeping time for us, where the bass is usually what would keep time for us. Like, it's not really doing that. Everything on a rhythmic level is off kilter and unmoored, if we want to continue with the sea and water metaphors. And then halfway through the piece we start getting this this thing that's basically in 3, and I counted that out, and at first I was like, oh, it's in 3, but they're like in greater subdivisions of 4, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. And then I was counting it more closely. I'm like, no, that actually either is in 9 the whole time or changes to 9 at some point, where it's going like, there's so many different things going on rhythmically in the song that it all feels very intentional. That, like, this is another piece that is supposed to be like, Maria is trying to seduce James. The like sexy strip club stuff didn't work. Just looking like his wife didn't work. So now she's trying to be closer to what she thinks he wants. Something closer to the Magdalene theme, which is just that very simple, very consonant natural minor. It's like, hey James, I'm using the natural minor now, it's fine. And he's like, no, your rhythm's completely off, we're not in sync with each other. And I love being able to use that terminology where it's like, yes, those phrases come from things like music, and we're using them on both a literal and metaphorical level. And again, just genius work from Akira Yamaoka. I don't like throwing that word around because I feel like it diminishes the actual impact and meaning of the word, but suffice to say, I love the work that he has done for this game, and he's continued to do it with the remake, with a new piece like this, Shadow of the Lover's Tree, and it's so cool. So now, with these last 23 minutes, We're going to try and blaze through the theater stuff, talk a little bit about Eddie, and get to Brookhaven. Let me switch back to the video game mode. Oh, I'm so glad we were able to get through all 3 of those pieces tonight, because I mentioned to Cleo, oh yeah, Dan, you came in just at the end of the scene, so you missed the music altogether. But if you want to listen to it, look up Shadow of the Lover's Tree on Spotify, and you'll be able to listen to the piece I was just talking about, and hear all that stuff I was talking about. There is a photo somewhere in here. Yes, here. Shadow of the Lover's Tree. If someone wants to type that in chat, or I can do that once I pick this up. I missed this photo on my first playthrough. Church entrance. It's interesting. We've got the church window, and then we've got the birds. Birds are what you count for this one. And we've got some, not dirty water necessarily, but... Ooh. You got it? Cool. Alright. But yeah, I really like to think of Beneath the Null Moon, Lament of Heaven's Night, and Shadow of the Lover's Tree as this like Maria suite that Akira Yamaoka wrote for the character, starting with the 2 pieces that were in the original and then adding this one, that are just such cool ways to explore and tell us who Maria is on a subliminal level. That no matter how hard she tries,
I think it came from inside the
she's not what James is looking for. Or maybe she is, in certain endings. Return to Owl Creek Bridge. That was a reference that immediately jumped out. If you've never... back for a happier ending. If you've never read an occurrence at Owl Creek Bridge, I think it's called. Artificial Sky. More references to artificial stuff. But an occurrence at Owl Creek Bridge. Interesting short story. I feel like it's taught. It was taught in my classroom, at least in high school. And is another story that kind of plays around with time and what actually happened, and is something just theater of the dying mind. So it's a good thing to reference in a game like this.
You okay?
Yeah. Maybe you better wait here.
Okay. Not much of a movie fan anyway.
Also, there are other real people in there, and they probably won't be able to see me because I manifested from your psyche.
Yeah.
So it would
be careful in there.
Create some questions.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a reference to Vanilla Sky if it's in a lot of ways. Yeah. I don't think I've seen Vanilla Sky. Oh, and we hear Laura and Eddie. Over 20 movies to enjoy.
Hey, what do you have to say that for?
Why are you sitting here? I thought you said the cops were after you.
Another classic piece of music here. Is this Alone in the Town?
Besides, I blocked the door, so no one could get in. Not the cops, and not these other monsters.
You're weird.
So Eddie sees monsters. Laura does not. That's why she says you're weird.
Well, I guess people call me weird too. And they yell at me. Especially when I do something bad. Did you do something bad? You know, so the cops are angry with you?
I don't know.
If only Laura knew.
So why don't you just say you're sorry? It always works for me.
They wouldn't listen. Nobody ever listens.
Nobody but Laura, apparently. And she's gone. Non-existence. I was here. Artificial sky. I think we've seen all of the movie posters at this point. We're going to be coming back out here, but I might as well explore this stuff now. Aha. The bathroom. Where you can always find bullets. In America. Oh, there's a poster called Remember Her? A movie called... Hopefully we'll see that. Bathrooms hold a weird significance in Silent Hill lore. Like, genuinely. Like, I talked about that bathroom in Midwich Elementary that has a weird kind of non-Euclidean nature. There's the bathroom that James stuffs his hand down in that gnarly toilet, that nasty toilet. And then in Silent Hill 3, bathroom is actually where you transition from the regular mall into the... I think it's supposed to be the Otherworld Mall. It's a different sort of Otherworld. Or maybe it's not changed to the Otherworld yet. Hey, Octo. Thanks for joining. We're coming close to the end of the playthrough, but we've got a couple... We've got one more scene to watch, which is cool, with Eddie. I'm going to point out again, Eddie... Part of the way you can tell that Eddie is in a different version of Silent Hill than us is you'll be able to see his breath as if he's like in a cold area, and you don't see James's breath. So, for whatever reason, Eddie is in a uniquely cold place. Yep, normal movie theater bathroom. Oh, I wish I could... I'm pretty sure this piece of music is called Alone in the Town, and this sounds pretty much the same as it did in the original. I think there's also a photo on one of these chairs, but I'll wait until after the scene to get it. There's nothing on the movie screen.
Eddie?
Oh.
You can see his breath.
James. We met back at the apartment building.
Yeah, I remember.
I see that you didn't make it out yet.
Yeah. I just didn't get around to it yet.
Doesn't seem to care about getting out of Silent Hill yet anymore.
At least you got your appetite back.
That little look there is such a good moment.
Are you alone here, Eddie?
No.
Well.
That's probably just Laura messing around.
The little girl? Laura, is that her name?
That's what she said.
I'm gonna go look for her.
Kinda creeping me out there, Eddie.
You coming?
Now you want me to come with you?
Never mind.
That's a moment that I appreciate so much when talking about the like more major themes of this game and how it demonstrates that like these people are literally and metaphorically living in different worlds. You've got the literal thing of like, oh, you see the breath that suggests that Eddie's in a cold area, and James doesn't have that, so they're in different versions of Silent Hill. But then there's the moment of James saying like, "Well, at least you got your appetite back," which is a little bit of a jab. I actually initially took it as like, "Oh, it's because you got your appetite back. You were puking before," and it could have been just been a good-natured thing. Although looking at it this time, I think James's expression suggests that maybe it's a little bit more of like, "Dude, you just ate through a pizza, and now you're eating a whole tub of ice cream too." But I don't think James intended too much by it, but you see so clearly how Eddie's expression changes and the way that his tone changes when he's like, "Now you care about leaving me or whatever." Um, and on the like very genuine, literal, grounded level of like, these are two people having two completely different conversations right now, which happens every day, all the time in the real world. And it's one of the reasons I love this game. It demonstrates in such a way. I was talking to someone about it today that I haven't really seen done in the same way in other media of like people are their own worlds, and we try to find connection, and sometimes we find it, and other times we're just on completely different wavelengths. Um, it's and it's such a I feel like it's such an important theme to come out of this story, and it's one that I don't know that like people like talking about it in terms of like, oh, literally like they're in different Silent Hills and stuff, but I really I would love to dive into it deeper on like in like an essay or something about the implications of it all. I know that there's a photo around here somewhere. I'll do the quick like extra Eddie dialogue real quick.
Who is that girl anyway?
I don't know. All I know is her name. I swear.
Yeah, you're starting to seem a bit sketchier, and yeah, I'm with you, Eddie. Why are you eating ice cream like that?
Didn't you want to go after her?
Oh, right behind Eddie, in the division between rows. Aha. Thank you, Cleo. Best flavor. This picture could imply a lot of things. Cleo and I were talking about like maybe it's supposed to be Mary and Maria's like the red lipstick, and Mary's the kind of more faded purple lipstick, and the red one's supposed to be the best flavor. Who knows? Oh, go to the next theater over for some playing on the screen, I think. Is it this way, or? Oh, that's right.
Laura?
Maybe Eddie eats lipstick too. Maybe. Yeah, is there anything that actually appears on the screen? Like I feel like when it initially turned on, there was supposed to be something. I didn't see something there, but maybe when we get up to the projector booth. It's 9:52. Come on, we can make it to Brookhaven. It's not much further. Well, that's spooky. Yeah. I probably missed it. One frame very brief. Okay, yeah, so it is literally a blink and you'll miss it. situation. I heard the crackle. Maybe that was it. Ah. Or maybe that was just my flashlight. Okay, I got places to be. There she is. There's a theater in, well, there's a, like a performing arts theater in Silent Hill Origins called the Artaud Theater, I think. And that the only other movie theater in any of the games, I believe, is in Silent Hill Downpour, where there's a side quest you can do. Which was one of the cooler ones, and I couldn't seem to solve it when I originally played that game, but I've been wanting to replay that game since I didn't do most of the side quests. Bioshock Infinite was coming out, and I wanted to get the game done. But I think partly because of that, I didn't give the game a fair shake, and I didn't get to play a lot of the side quests. But it's a flawed game. There are things I like about it. There are people who really like the game, but I didn't quite connect with the emotional story it was trying to tell. But it's still a decent game. There are some really cool things in it. I've heard the side quests are part of the best part of the game, so. Alright. Am I going the right way? Yes. Okay. I was like, how do I get out of here? Went down the stairs and there's nowhere to go.
Laura, stop! It's dangerous!
Where are you running to, Laura? Surely somewhere safe. Not a insane asylum.
Marina? You little girl?
Yeah.
You little girl?
Yeah, I tried to stop her, but she went that way. We can still catch her.
Can you find my frame rates as well? Okay. So, we've got I was here, artificial sky, return to Owl Creek Bridge, non-existence. Okay. Where are we? Okay. The Revere Theater. Paul Revere? I guess that's the implication. I'm going to do my quick perimeter stuff. We may push like a minute or two past 10 o'clock, but it's only because the next save point is like right up the road at Brookhaven. But I'll start saying now, thank you everyone for hanging out for this stream. I was really excited about this one because I knew that there were a lot of cool music things to talk about, and it's just I've loved the music for this game for so long, and to now be able to appreciate it more because I'm finally doing the like deep dive I've always wanted to with it is just such a joy. I am considering taking a break from the stream sometime soon because May is going to be pretty busy for me, but and also to let Cleo catch up a little because she's been having the worst technical issues with OBS. But I may, if I take a break, I would love to do it after we get through all of Brookhaven because that always feels like a good like break point for me. But we'll see what happens with life, and if I need a break sooner than that, because life has been stressful lately, in the world and in the personal world, but for the most part, things are good on a personal level. It's just I have a bad habit of overcommitting to things, doing a lot of stuff, trying to do a lot of stuff that are all things I want to do, but I often forget that I am only human. But right now I'm feeling good. Planning on doing the next stream as scheduled, and what else do I have coming up? If you're in Central New York, my band Mosaic Mind that Olhado there in chat is a part of, we're going to be playing at, we have a couple shows coming up next month in May. We're playing at Al's Wine and Whiskey Lounge Thursday, May 8th, I want to say it is. It's like it's the second Thursday in May, I think. And then 2 weeks after that, we're going to be playing at Funkin' Waffles, opening for Chris Lefevre band. Chris Lefevre, who was in he played one of the leads in a musical I wrote, which is very cool, and has a band of his own that I will be playing with on that night, as well as my own band. So I'm gonna be put through my paces that night, but it's gonna be a fun night. We also recorded one of our shows, a storytellers type thing we did at a place called Pink Rock Culture Co-op, and I'm hoping that we will be able to get that up on YouTube at some point. And the Funkin' Waffles show, the second one next month, I think it's on Thursday, May 22nd, that will be streamed. Funkin' Waffles streams all of their shows on their Twitch stream, which I think is just twitch.tv/FunkinWaffles. Funk, F-U-N-K, N, the letter N, Waffles. So, if you want to see some of our music and you are not in the Central New York area, you will be able to do so that way. And I'll be posting about that. I need to add that to the events calendar on my website, and I'll be posting about that on social media and stuff for anyone who wants to see it.
James, look.
What? Oh. Not ominous at all. Okay. I'm going to check my checklist one last time to make sure I don't miss anything. Got the church entrance, we got best flavor, and then, yeah, then we're going into Brookhaven. So, we're going to go into Brookhaven and do a quick save in there. And then that'll be it for the night. Thank you everyone so much for hanging out and watching and listening. I hope it has been as much fun for you as it was for me. And I hope you'll come back around next time. The next stream is 2 weeks from today. So that is Wednesday, April 30th. April, a 3-stream month. Is there any other, like, bullets or anything over here? The immediate ominous chord is almost... Yeah, like, I was so caught off guard by that, which I knew what was happening. I don't know why I was so surprised when it was like, oh, cutscene. But yeah, it's like, ominous chord, Brookhaven Hospital. Yeah, that seems fine. So yeah, next stream is Wednesday, April 30th at 7 o'clock again, and we'll be exploring Brookhaven, and probably just get through the regular half of Brookhaven and when we get to the other world. Because there's a lot of stuff that happens in Brookhaven, or a lot of puzzles and stuff to solve, and a lot of notes to talk about. There's a lot more,
Hey, come on, we gotta catch up.
Yeah, but there could be, like, I just got a health drink, Maria, that proved to me that this was worth it. And see, bullets, Maria. Come on. I know that if this were a real-life situation, of course we would run in after her, but this is a video game, and I need to get all the items I can. But yeah, next stream 2 weeks from today. And yeah, we'll get through Brookhaven. There's a lot of storytelling through the memos that you find in Brookhaven, and there'll be a lot to talk about there. And yeah, she's gonna be fine, Maria. In fact, Laura is the only person in this game who seems like they're gonna be fine, depending on the ending you get. Come on, frame rates. Let's catch up once we get in here, please, please. Okay. Oh my gosh. I just want to catch up so that I can start getting notes and get to the save point. Shotgun shells. We're going to be getting the shotgun, but sadly it is not here.
A gun cabinet? In the hospital?
Yeah, but it's empty.
Somehow that seems worse.
Yeah, the implications aren't great. Safe direction. Keep your weapon pointed in a safe direction so that accidental discharge will not cause injury. 2. Finger off the trigger. Do not put your finger on the trigger unless you're ready to shoot at your intended target. 3. Keep your gun unloaded. Keep your weapon unloaded while in storage. Only load your weapon when you are ready to use it. I don't know if this was intentional, but there is a whole thing in the original Silent Hill game where early on in the game, when you get your first gun, you're given it by Sybil Bennett, the cop in the first game, and she says, just make sure you're sure of what you're shooting. I can't remember the exact line, but she basically says, make sure you know what you're shooting at.
Where did she go?
And
I don't know.
make sure you just don't go flying off the handle, and make sure you don't shoot me by accident, which is actually like a hint later when there is an opportunity where you may have to shoot her to not do so, but there's a bunch of other convoluted stuff that you have to do in order to do that, to not have to shoot her. Due to repeated instances of keys getting misplaced from this point forward, they are to be returned to the locker at the end of every shift. All staff are required to memorize the padlock combination and are not to disclose it to anyone but authorized personnel under any circumstances. In case of any problems, report to the head nurse in examination room 3. The combination we need to get the keys is in examination room 3. That is basically what this is telling us. What are you looking at there, Maria? A little T setup and a picture of the brain, which I'm sure Cleo has run through Google image search and found everything about. Or if she hasn't already, then she will. The director requested the files of the 3 crucial patients. You know which ones. Could you please bring them to his office? This is foreshadowing our main puzzle in Brookhaven. There are going to be 3 patient files that we find in the director's office that are going to be the essence of the storytelling that we come across here. Okay, nothing in there. It's a hospital and there's nothing in the med cabinet. Oof. Okay. Window. What's going on with that window? You have not been set loose on Brookhaven. Alright, so this is the combination.
It looks like there is a key in there. No combination, though.
We should look around. Might be written down somewhere.
Okay, and with that, we are going to save and call it for the night. Thank you once again for joining me for another Silent Hill 2 stream. Next stream is in 2 weeks on April 30th at 7 o'clock, and we'll be exploring Brookhaven Hospital. What do I do at the end of streams? Again, it feels like ages since I did the stream. If you want to follow me on social media or through my website, it's ian-doherty.com. There should be a link underneath, and Moobot has been spinning it out throughout, and you can find me on Blue Sky, YouTube, where I upload these streams after they're done, Facebook, Ian Doherty Music, or Mosaic Mind Band, that band I was talking about before. We post on Facebook and on Instagram under the same username. on our Instagram, there's actually a bunch of videos from that storyteller show, mostly the storytelling portions. But you can also find our music that gives context for the storyteller portions on SoundCloud if you're interested in exploring that or just listening to that. And there's Moobot with a link to my website where you can find links to all the stuff that I just talked about. I need to update the events page with all the shows and stuff, but yeah, thank you for a really fun stream tonight. Thanks everyone for hanging out and interacting in the chat. Cleo, I hope you get your tech stuff figured out. I'll see if I can help in any other way. If there's a chance sometime soon we potentially hop on Discord and try to figure it out in real time. But other than that, take care everyone. Have a good evening and enjoy the rest of your week.